Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to share with you a new design style. It's new, but it's not. It looks back to the history of floral design. The Bespoke Garden Style is reminiscent of the designs we did before we had floral foam. So what is Bespoke? Well, to begin with, it's spelled B-E-S-P-O-K-E. So you may hear bespoke because that's what people are going to read, but it's actually a British word pronounced bespoke. It means to be unique, one of a kind, handmade by the artisan, which definitely explains this Bespoke garden style because it's just about impossible to do two identical. It's so relaxed and casual, it's truly a bespoke design. So many different flowers work well in this design style. You want to pick your favorites. Choose a color palette and then start gathering. I like to start with some branches like the quince, garden roses, oh so fabulous, and then interesting things like the proteas or leucospermum, kale, hydrangea. Think big, blousy, things that you would envision in Grandma's garden or Grandma's fantasy garden. And then move on to textural items, foliages that will drape and add interest. So like the large fatsia leaves, quite interesting. Textural eryngium, oh so fabulous. And then the draping, feather eucalyptus, grevillea, and even the lily of the valley plant. They can drape over the edge and be so stunning. Many, many, many different things to use. Which are your favorites? They'll probably work. For the container, something with a wide opening. Tighter doesn't work as easily. Then the unique thing about the Bespoke style is it generally does not use floral foam. It doesn't mean you can't. Yes, you can do that, but as a rule, it's mostly done with an armature, oftentimes made out of the floral netting or chicken wire. So I just rolled up a piece and then I set it into the dish, then taping it into place using the waterproof tape, starting at one side, going across, taping it down, and then you repeat that the opposite direction. Then to ensure that it doesn't let go, take small cross pieces and go right across the top like so. That way you can shorten this a bit. You don't need it to come down quite so far, but you've got that crossbar on all four sides to anchor it into place. For the water, I use warm water pre-mixed with flower food. You can see this dish holds quite a bit of water, so there's going to be ample to keep the flowers alive for a very long time. Then you move on to foliages. Start with those rather than flowers to build a nest for the flowers. So maybe a bit of the feather eucalyptus. Leaving it long, breaking it down just a bit, maybe right there, moving the lower leaves, and then letting it drape outward. The part that I broke down coming out to the front. Little bit of the Paris japonica or the lily of the valley bush, breaking it down, anchoring it into the wire. You can see it just drapes right over the edge because the wire just gives it enough support to hold it. Grevillea, wonderful draping qualities as well as stiffness so that you can let it come outward and upward a bit and it'll still stay. Maybe a little more. Finding the perfect spot in the wire to support it, feeding it down in, getting that upward movement, giving almost an asymmetrical feel. Coming back, another little piece. And then leaves. The fatsia will help cover the tape mechanics and give you visual weight right at the base, a nice heavy touch. Bringing one over to the opposite side, and then continue filling until you feel like you have a perfect nest for all your flowers. Every time you add something to the bouquet, it gets stronger. You've got that base armature of the chicken wire, and then the weaving stems crossing through, forming that central binding point, enhance that armature within the vessel so that each flower makes the next one a little sturdier. So now that I have a nest, I can go back and add in some of the flowers. The hydrangea with their big blousy blooms are wonderful, right down at the base, nestled in. Maybe a second one. Bringing it back. And with this strength that I've got, I can even go ahead and add in some of the branching and know that it's sturdy enough to stay put. Giving it a cut. Whittling the ends a bit so it will drink better. And then setting it into place. Bring in a taller bit now. Pruning it slightly so it's got the right placement. And then again, whittling the end to drink, placing it, expanding upon that asymmetrical feel of the design, finding the perfect little hole, setting it in, then going back to the larger blossoms like the kale, pulling off the back leaves and then reflexing. Get a fuller bloom. Cutting it, setting it down in, weaving it in and out between the wires to find the perfect little spot. Roses will be a little easier because their stems are smaller. Giving them a cut, then placing those in. Maybe the protea, using it as an accent area. Breaking it down. Moving the lower leaves and dropping it right in towards the center. For final touches, I like to add even more texture. And the eryngium is perfect for that. Pulling off side shoots, so I have a nice long stem to insert, saving those for something else, and then giving it a cut and feeding it right in between the more delicate, larger flowers. And again, placing it in between, adding a little more substance, and then to carry on a little more upward movement, accenting that asymmetrical feel, bringing in the pincushion protea, letting them come up a little taller, and pulling that orange from one side all the way to the top. The Bespoke Garden Style of design is reminiscent of the paintings of the old world masters, the still lives. So beautiful, so lush. As a teacher, I find that experienced designers struggle with it a bit. Beginning designers embrace it and love it. What's the difference? I think as experienced designers, we get used to being able to control our flowers and get them to do exactly what we want. Then switching over to an armature using the chicken wire, which was used so many years ago, so what's old is new again, gives us more of a challenge. We have to relax and let the flowers do the talking, let them go where they want, and then force them to do what we want, but within the realm of that casual softness. Now, as you're working, if you need more help, inspiration, you have questions, you can reach us through the website at flowerschool.com or pick up the telephone. I'm happy to chat with you and explore how to do this easily. It's 503-223-8089. And of course, I want to see what you create in the Bespoke style. Pop it off to my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. Now it's your turn. Have fun and do something you love.